Hey, what's up? I got a video, and I just wanted to come with like a couple quick thoughts that I had. Is that when I was thinking so this is just a thought that came to my mind. So when I was walking today before I started making content today, there was like a tree stump, like, and this is back to my like a little bit of a theme about like appreciating like details different in environment. And so it's not just like appreciating different features of environment, like objects or like perceptions of an environment, like actual specific details of an environment as they're appreciated isolated for their own sake, or maybe just a detail for its own sake is significant, but that's not the only way to appreciate detail, or necessarily the best way for it all to for all out for it's not the only way to appreciate details. It's just simply how many details are there. It's not the only way, but the reasoning for details, the placement of things, it's more so the reason between things, the reason, but also the rhyme. Not more of the reason, not more of the rhyme, or less of the reason, or less of the rhyme, but the reason and the rhyme is what. So the detail and the reason and the rhyme is significant as much as any detail by itself. And so there can be so many approaches to that, that even to say that that just sounds asinine, but just appreciate how much you can appreciate, how much appreciating you can do about details and rhyme and reason, and how maybe no two people could do that the same way, necessarily any greater or lesser than the other. But that's really how beautiful life is right there. But so one would be like to, I've referenced some other ones. And one is to appreciate misfortune. So you're going through an environment, and what is the most misfortunate thing you see? The most, what could be appreciated on the surface as misfortunate person, but that can still go different ways, because as misfortunate as it is to be a person destitute on a bus stop, how misfortunate would it be to be a high powered person, but you have yourself in more trouble than you can handle, and now you're like you can't rest well at night because you have some real things on your hand you don't know how to deal with. As high powered and wealthy and whatnot and respected, would that person on the bus stop not be somehow in a better position, or just have more peace, contentment, maybe also more insight and inspiration? So that's relative. But I was walking by and I saw a tree stump just sitting there, and I had actually made a video no less than a week ago about someone that I saw honoring and embracing a tree stump as very beautiful, and I commended that person when I saw that. But I actually might have been inappropriate for how I engaged them, for them not knowing me. But um, but what I wanted to say is that I saw another tree stump like that today. It was in front of a yard, in a like a little like a kind of like close to like a small like cloister of like businesses, or like cluster of businesses. It was just a tree stump there, and I would almost just about nearly saw like a little flash of light, like insight around the tree stump, like something of a of an insight. And it wasn't. Sometimes I think there might be things that transpire around us that are recognizable to our awareness, but they're outside of our paradigm. That is, they're outside of the collective experience of what people are used to seeing, or what we have experienced, or what it just people in this iteration of existence are experiencing. So it can transpire, and you simply don't comprehend it as it's in front of your face, but it really did just happen. An example is that, imagine you were deep sea diving, right? So you're diving on the ocean floor, and you see what looks like just like some dirt on an ocean floor, and then it gets up and moves on you. Like it actually, it gets frustrated or impatient waiting there looking at your boring self in a scuba diving outfit, like any other umpteen scuba divers that have come through there risking their lives when they didn't have to see something cool. And now that thing gets up and it scurries off and it leaves a cloud behind it. You did not know that you were being observed by an actual creature, maybe more sophisticated, sublime, and sensitive, and profound than you on some levels, and that creature is, and more perceptive on some levels in that environment than you with your scuba diving self. You didn't know that that was a being, because you didn't have the you didn't that wasn't in your RES, reticular activation system. That is the details that your subconscious mind responds to and perceives and renders based on the meaning of previous experiences. It wasn't part of that, and therefore it wasn't part of your paradigm. What you knew could exist, how it could exist, where it could exist. Um, you didn't know that, but it was there for you. It could have been, it potentially could have been perceived because it was there, but it couldn't be perceived by you because that's outside of your experience. But it does exist, and now you see it when it makes a cloud, and then when it makes a cloud like that, it more so resembles things you have seen, like maybe a stingray or just a cloud of dust to start moving for no reason would have to be something a living would have to do that. So you can therefore perceive it now and appreciate it as being a being, and that's a little bit startling. So before you go off into like deep sea diving or off into the woods, not all creatures have been accounted for, nor their behaviors or appetites. So watch yourself around the middle of around great depths that people might have experienced before. But I want to say I damn near saw a light flash above a tree stump, and so you're not actually saying something original until you're risking something or doing something original. So I'm not saying that I'm seeing flashing lights, but I damn near thought I could have saw like a flash, and so you say you're out of your mind. You saw some light flash on the ground for above a tree stump. Did you just say that? But have you not seen lightning in the sky before? Did that not look like a flash of light when you saw lightning in the sky before? Did you not see heat lightning when there were not clouds before? Did you not see that? Did you not see light make a spark out of an electric socket before? A smaller degree of light, and even the heat lightning would look different than the regular lightning. Did you not see that before? Is it not possible that if something exists on a grand stage, large, big in the sky, as above so below, could it not exist smaller? Could you not see the phenomenon of what's called lightning way more subtle and candid and private in above like a tree stump as you're walking? Could you not actually, is that impossible to have a flash of light over a tree stump if it is possible to have a flash of light above the sky, or have heat lightning without clouds? Is it not possible to have a flash of a faint of an electric charge that could actually be perceived by the naked human eye? Is it truly impossible? A lot of people would say, a lot of your professionals would say, hell yeah, we got some people in some clean white clothing, some sturdy people that have a lot of time on their hands to exercise, that don't know what to do with some of their strength or their importance, but they would like to pay you a visit talking like this. Some people would say that. But what I want to say is that you might be asinine, that's just outside of your experience, or people that have been trained by you, or people that you've grown up around, or people that you've known in this iteration of culture. How many things have been experienced by other cultures that could be enunciated and presented and demonstrated by other cultures that are beyond our present iteration of understanding ourselves in reality, that have been lost through time or have not yet been remembered? How much? So are you saying that the English language, the English culture, the Western culture, the Western values, and our few hundred years of Western science has experienced and documented and researched and recorded all that is possible of phenomenon in something as dynamic and profound as this universe? Are you saying that? And if you did say that, would you not be more asinine than me to say that perhaps you could have lightning at a much more finer, fainter, humble level than up in the sky? So I'm not saying it was or wasn't anything, but I'm just saying it could have been anything, as anything could be anything. And then you listen to like music, right? So like when you listen to music, that might actually be magical because the harmony that's real harmony you're hearing, but it's a deeper thing that's transpiring than you can actually lay a finger on and describe in a book. But it's actually part of what we're experiencing as reality. And so we are yet in a musical that is magical reality, and music, it shows that. It doesn't take more than a guitar to exempt. See, a guitar is not really creating harmony as you think it is. It's not really creating music. It's revealing music. So those vibrations, the potential for those vibrations and those ripples and those harmonies are about us, always are as magical and dynamic as when someone's playing beautiful music. But striking a string over a empty wooden frame reveals what had already been harmony, had already been magic, what is us. But there's so many more things to be discovered that are not part of what's already been experienced by our present iteration. So sometimes you can see some stuff that might actually look like lightning in your living room or in life. It's possible. I'm not saying that really happens, but I'm saying it's possible.